So we'll go over this story today. We'll go over as much of 1, 2, and 3 as we can. I might have to supplement with a video that I send you a link to, and we could go over the rest of it. And you can't respond back to the video, but you could watch it at your leisure, because I hate to just be stalled. So let's do this now before everybody comes in. Let's talk about what I'd like you to do over break, okay? And you can write this down. I want you to do, so we did 1 through 3. I want you to do 4 through 6. All right? So the first thing is exercises 4 through 6, exercitia 4 through 6. I also have 2 other sheets. I have Latin stories. I will give these to you one at a time, okay? These are 2 stories that should not be too difficult for you to read. For the Simpows, when you come back, I'll provide you with whatever you need. I don't expect you to be doing Latin right now. It's a story of Pandora's box, and the story on the back is Phaethon. And these are extra words that you might not know, but I don't think they use anything but like direct objects, and I think you should be able to work your way through these. And it's to give you something else to read, all right? Because it gets tiresome to do the same thing over and over. So that is for you to work on. So you're going to do the Latin stories. You're going to read 4 through 6. I also have another worksheet for you. And, but you're not doing this whole thing, okay? Because I know these are kind of hard. Look on the side that says page 14. Do exercitium 6. I'm going to say page 14, exercitium 6. This is is eaid. Do you see it's in the margin? And since I said that would be a good thing for us to work on learning, so basically you have to figure out what goes in the blank. And it's going to be one of those forms, or those forms that were on chapter 5, the handout from chapter 5. It means he, she, it, they. Would any of you like me to go over that? I mean, do you understand the is eaid chart?
Is it the he, she, it?
Mm-hmm. And him, her, or their, if it's possessive or whatever. If you are not sure about that, look on the handout for chapter 5. Those chapter handouts they give you?
Yeah.
If you cannot find your handout for chapter 5, email me and say, can you send me another copy of the handout for chapter 5? And I will.
Okay, I think I have it here.
Okay, consult that. All right? I'm not right now, but when you do that, when that is, okay. And then on the back of that same sheet, on the sheet that says page 17, I would like you to do exercitium 4. Exercitium 4, look in the margin right next to it. Do you see a list of words? Ad, ante, post, inter, prope, circum, apud. Do you see that list? And then there's a line. And then it has as, a. What that is saying is those prepositions take accusative endings, right? So if you use the word ad, ante, post, inter, prope, circum, or apud, the object of the preposition is accusative. It uses one of those endings on the other side of the line. But look at the next line. Ab, a, ex, in, cum, sine. On the other side of that line, it's ablative endings. Those use ablative endings. This is simply a reminder for you that some of them use accusative and some use ablative. And they're right there. I mean, so if you look at number 1. Via Appia est inter Rome et Burundis. Well, which list is inter in? Oh, it's in the first list. So it's got to use one of those accusative endings. And I know it's Romam et Brundisium. That's all you do. But if you look at number 5, the first preposition is ab. Oh, great. Which one is ab? Oh, it's on the other side. So I use one of those endings. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not very difficult. But it will be, it's a practice to remind you, some of them take accusative and some take ablative. Okay? I also would like you work on your noun endings, work on issa id, and basically, in addition to that, reread stuff we've read before. Go back as far in the book as you want. I wouldn't go back to last year. You know, I wouldn't go back before chapter 9. But you could start at chapter 9 and just reread like everything we've read this year again. And you might not get through all of that. You're shooting for 45 to 60 minutes a day. And anything you're doing for Latin counts, right? If you're just sitting there with the book, you could rewatch my videos and read it along with me, right? Just stay with your brain in the Latin. It is there's no way we're going to be able to go over all of this next time, right? So I very, very likely may make a video for you next week and just post it and say, here's, you know, and I'll go over the answers on the worksheet and why it is what it is, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense? I feel like it's just easier to just throw all of that at you before people come in, right? Yeah, because when we're distracted, I'm distracted too. So, okay, well, let's pick up onto this story. Lydia fessa est, non vult ambulare, et est vir, qui habet asinum. Bene, bene. Et medus interrogat, vir. Lydia, amica mea, est fessa. Potest Lydia ascendere asinum, et sedere in asino, et vir says, dicit bene, est bene. And I think that's where we stopped. Et nomen viro est mopsus. Est nomen mirabile. Mopsus. Et interrogat, cur vos, tu et tu, vos, itis, tu, tis, est mimenisi, exempli gratia est voco, vocas, vocat, non est, vocamus, vocatu, catis, vocant. Id est I, you, he, she, it, we, you, all, they. Et eo, go, eo est, non est, est rectum, non est regular, right? Eo, is, it, imus, itis, eont. I go, you go, he, she, it goes, we go, y'all go, they go. Bene. So why are you both going? Are we good with that? Okay. We are on the second page, and near the top, it's the line that says mihi nomen est mopsus.
Okay.
And then at the end of that, he says cur vos ostiam itis. Ostiam est ad ostiam, towards ostia. Medus, exportu osiensi in patriam nostram Graeciam nave vehi possumus. Is that the last thing we read? That was a difficult sentence. Possumus. Nos possumus. Vehi. Non veheri. Veheri est to transport. Vehi. Vehi est to be transported. Right? It's our passive infinitive. Nawe. It is in Nawe. Ex portu ostiensi in patriam nostram Graeciam. Bene. Ilic est in ostia. Oh, ignoscite mihi. Bona navis nos operitur. Operitur significat expectat. Expectat. Operitur. Navis nos expectat. Est in portu et expectat nos. Bene, ignoscite mihi. This is what happens when it is 80 degrees and it snows all in the same week. Feels so good. Okay. Medus esaco suo malum sumit. Et ecce inquit malum tibi do, amice, medus est bonus. Dat malum mopso. Mopsus. At saci, quos asinus meos portat, pleni sunt malorum. Mopsus habet mala. In saco, sacus est plenus. Saci sunt pleni malorum. They quae parsententiae, well, qualis genitivus est malorum. They're asking you what part of the sentence or what type of genitive. We haven't really talked about that. It's called the partitive genitive. Full of, part of. It's not really that the apples own the sack in this case, right? It's not really possession. We do this in English all the time. We use that word. It's full of something. Tabernarius sum. Mopsus est tabernarius. Meministis. Tabernarius habet tabernam et vendit. Res. Et tabernarius vendit annulum. Medus emit annulum. Et dat annulum Lydiae est tabernarius. Vendit. Res. Et mopsus est tabernarius. Fortasi mopsus vendit mala. Fortasi. Et fructus. Ales fructus. Tabernariusum, et mala et pira vendo. Ego vendo, mala et pira. Malum a te non accipio. Ego non accipio. Accipio est, accipio. Hic est occipio. Gabrielus est occipio. Non accipio malum. Ego habeo mala. Non necesse est habere tum malum. Medus, sed nihil aliud habeo quod tibi dare possum. Medus dixit, ego habeo nihil aliud. Medus habet mala, non habet aliud. Solum habet malum. Et non possum dare mopso aliud. What's Medus's problem? What is he responding?
Does that have anything else to give us?
But I don't have anything else to give you. No ego habeo nihil, nihil aliud, nothing other. Quod ego possum dare tibi. Mopsus, id necesse non est. Oh, mopsus est bonus. Non necesse dare mihi pecuniam, et mala non necesse est. Me delectat amicam tuam formosam mecum veheri. Oh, delectat me, veheri, portare, tuam amicam formosam mecum. And this is kind of tricky. Our little number 15 says, what is the subject of this verb? Me delectat. Delecto is delight. Maybe it will help us if we think, what is he saying? Me delectat. Veheri amicam tuam formosam mecum.
It delights him to carry.
Yes, it delights me to carry with me your beautiful girlfriend. Now, this is kind of tricky. It delights me. What is the subject? What delights?
Oh, if I just go, yeah, amazing girlfriend.
Well, but in the word, there, it delights me to carry your beautiful girlfriend. What is the subject grammatically of that sentence? If we had to diagram it or something. What delights?
The girlfriend.
No.
Oh,
Listen to it again.
What delights?
Listen to the sentence. It delights me to carry your beautiful girlfriend.
To carry? This is subject.
It delights me to carry. Can I just say her instead of your? What delights?
I want to say, is it what delights or what gets delighted?
What is doing the delighting?
Me, or you might be, it's it.
What's the verb?
The verb is delight.
What delights?
What delights it?
It. Subject. It delights. What delights it? Now, I'm sorry, what you guys said was totally true. The thing that's delighting him is to carry. But grammatically, the subject of delight is it. It delights me. And then the it is explained, to carry her. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, here's why this was a hard question. It is what we call an impersonal. Is there an actual it? Like, is he talking about a thing and he's saying, could he point to this it? No. It's not an actual thing in existence. It's just a placeholder. In Latin, they do this a lot. We do it in English. For example, we also use there as a placeholder. Sometimes there means a place. But if I say, there are paper bits on the floor, I don't necessarily mean there. I just say there are. They exist. There are bananas at Hy-Vee. And I don't mean there. I just mean they exist at Hy-Vee, bananas. It's impersonal. This is an impersonal construction. It delights me. Instead of saying, I am delighted, delecto. Delecta, it delights. And anyway, I know, that was brutal. I know, but it's very tricky. So I sounded like I was mocking you, but I was not. I understood that it was a hard question. Okay. Dum medus cum mopso loquitur. Loquitur. Quid significat loquitur? Can you think of another word that we could use there instead? Loquitur. Quid significat loquitur? quid facit medus? Medus loquitur. Quid facit?
What is the word loquitur?
That's exactly what I'm asking you.
Okay.
So if Evelina cognosco quid significat loquitur? Est dicit. Dicit. Not edit. Going. Sounds like I'm eating something. Talk.
Okay.
Loquitur. Du medus loquitur cum mopso. Medus et mopsus locuntur. Dicunt. And so you probably are not able to answer then this question, is this verb deponent or true passive? It's deponent. It looks passive, but it's active. Because, and it says, how do you know? Medus is spoken. That wouldn't make any sense at all. While medus is spoken. No, while medus talks with mopsus. Loquitur. Mm-hmm. That's just a repetition thing, you know. It just popped up in this chapter. Okay. Ostiam adveniunt. Mopsus et Lydia et medus adveniunt. Est veniunt ad ostiam. Asinus ante tabernum mopsi consistit. Asinus ambulat et consistit. Consistit ante tabernam mopsi. Mopsus est tabernarius, habet tabernam, et hic est tabernam, et asinus consistit. Dominus asino suo fesso mala dat. Oh, est bonus dominus. Mopsus dominus dat mala, cui? Asino suo. Asino fesso. Medus. Vale mopse, bone amice. Mopsus. Etiam vos, valete amici mei, bene navigate. Medus et Lydia navigant, in Nawe. Except they're not going to row, right? It's going to be a sailboat. Et bene navigate. Quid est navigate? What can you tell me about that word? Navigate.
It's navigate.
It is. It comes from the verb navigo. What form is that? It has ate on the end. Navigate. If he was just talking to Medus, he might say, mede, naviga bene. Sed hic, dicit Lydiae et medo. Navigate. It est venite. What is that te ending? Do you remember? It's the command to more than one person. Remember? So if he's telling, he's sail well, have a good trip, basically. Bon voyage, you know what I say? If he was talking to one person, naviga, sail well. But since he's talking to more than one, navigate. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. So he's telling the two of them to have a good trip, since he's talking to more than one. Item Lydia. Item est quoque. Lydia inquit. Vale amice? Nihil habeo quod tibi dare possum praeter osculum. Lydia inquit. Ego habeo nihil quod ego possum dare tibi. Et quoque medus dicit, non habeo nihil quod possum dare, et praeter osculum. Lydia potest dare osculum mopso, et mopso osculum dat. Ille osculo tam pulchrae feminae laetatur. O, mopsus laetatur. Laeto est esse laetus. Laetatur, et in passivo. Mopsus ille, laetatur. He is made happy, right? He is happy, right? He rejoices. It happens to him. He rejoices because of what? What caused the rejoicing? By means of what? Ablative of means. By means of, remember, it's going to be an ablative. Ille osculo da tam pulchrae feminae laetatur. He rejoices by means of, what's the kiss, osculo, pulchrae feminae. In quocasu, in what case is pulchrae feminae?
Pulchrae feminae. I want to say that is genitive.
I would love for you to say that it is genitive. The kiss of a beautiful woman. A beautiful woman's kiss. Yes. Bene. Medus id spectans non laetatur. Medus non vult Lydiam asculare mopsum. Non laetatur. Veni mecum, Lydia, inquit. Veni. Et statim, ad portum incipit ire. Ire est infinitivus, to go. Ire. Incipit ire ad portum. Lydia mopsum tristim relinquit. Oh, Lydia relinquit. Lydia it, mopsus non it. Mopsus consistit. Relinquit. Mopsum tristim. Mopsus est tristis. Et sequitur amicum suum. Lydia sequitur. Est medus. Est Lydia. Medus ambulat. Lydia sequitur. Post eum. Medus Lydia sequitur. Quid significat sequitur? Follows. And last one, do you think sequitur means something passive? She follows him. She follows her boyfriend. Is that passive?
It sounds like passive.
Is she being followed?
No.
No, so it's not happening to her. It's something she's doing. So if she's doing it, is it active or passive? It's active. Then why does it have the tur on the end?
Because of the passive infinitive. Or I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I might have said that wrong.
You described it wrong. So sequitur means something active. Follow. She follows. She's doing something. But the form is passive. Sequitur looks like it should mean is being followed. Have we met verbs that look passive? Deponent. It's a deponent verb.
That's what I was trying to say. I said the wrong thing.
By the way, sometimes you will hear, if someone says something that doesn't make any sense when they say it, like just something random, they call it a non sequitur. Have you ever heard this? That was a real non sequitur, and it means, like I'm talking about bananas at Hy-Vee, and then you suddenly say, it snowed last week. It's nothing to do with bananas at Hy-Vee. It's a Latin phrase that we move straight into English, a non sequitur. It does not follow. It literally means it does not follow. And we say it, oh, that was a non sequitur. He just threw out a non sequitur. And it means you said something that was random, and had nothing to do with what we were talking about whatsoever. But learning the phrase non sequitur helps us remember that it's always passive, non sequitur. Bene, bene. Cur medus, we have a couple of questions. Cur medus malum dare mopso conatur. Conatur, quoque est deponens, est always passive, try. Conari is try. Cur medus conatur, you can answer in English if you want. Cur medus conatur dare malum mopso.
Because he wanted to give him something for all he'd done.
Wilt dare premium, a reward? Bene, bene. Et cur ille mopsus non accipit.
Because he's a massive sack full of them.
Habet multa mala.
He could have given him the animal, all of his instead of giving his own.
Bene, bene. Et cur mopsus tristis est.
Because Lydia left.
Lydia eum relinquit. Et osculum dat. Iteque reliquit. No, non iteque, diende reliquit. Est tristis. Oh. Bene, bene. How are we? Do we feel, was it kind of nice to read something different a little bit? Same characters. This is the difficult, you guys are at a very difficult place in your Latin training because I just don't have a lot to give you. You know, that's where that bed of Procrustes was such a delight. And so I hope those Latin stories, if they frustrate you, don't sit there and be frustrated. Don't do it. But I think that you probably know the story, I'm sure you know the story of Pandora.
Yeah.
And you probably maybe remember the story of Phaethon, who wanted to drive the car to the sun because his dad was.
What's the first one about?
Pandora, she got that box
From
and Zeus, and they said don't open it, and it had all the evils of mankind. Okay, well, let's see how far we can get on this worksheet that I had you. This isn't the one. That's the one for next time. Page 56, right?
Yes.
So this first part, I'm basically, they just gave you word choices there, you know. I don't know if you reuse anything in these. So this should be actually pretty easy to go through. Okay. Italia inter duo Maria. Yes, I'm looking at the inter est. No, this inter. Oh, you know what? Those are not necessarily the forms it's going to be. This is a little trickier, right? Inter est. Inter est. Inter esse is the infinitive.
I had a question if the endings were right or not, but I was like, I don't know if they are.
Inter est. So inter esse. Do you remember that sum? I need more room. We have the be verb. Sum es est. Sumus estis sunt. So we've met est and sunt for a long time. I am, you are, he, she, it is. We are, you all are, they are. And the infinitive, you know, we're used to seeing an A-R-E or E-R-E or I-R-E and the to do it. The infinitive for this is esse. Esse means to be. It's the infinitive. And we have met some verbs that use this, like medus ad est is near, or ab est, he's away. In this case, inter est is in between, right? So it's got this est, which is this, but it's to or near, away from, between. There's a lot of these, all right? So inter esse is to be between. But what they wanted us to say is Italy is between. Inter est. Does that make sense?
Why is it two inters?
because they do not mind repeating themselves in Latin. And as a matter of fact, double negatives are fine with them.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
so,
yeah.
like,
We
yeah,
can
like, look
we
at
can
question
pile
17.
on the negatives.
Yeah,
There's
like
still
look
negative
on,
even if there's two.
like yeah, I noticed that in question 17.
Oh,
They
okay.
just repeated ventures.
Went through. Okay. So sorry about that. Okay. These are kind of hard. I don't love giving you guys these exercises. I'm just kind of at a loss of how to get as much practice as possible, to be honest. I ordered this book and I thought, I don't love these. That's why I'm not asking you guys to do all of them. Okay. Id mare quod supra Italium. I'm not even sure I know what they want us to put. Okay. Mare supra Italium est mare. Oh, this is going to be really hard, actually. Skip the first blank. Mare supra Italium est mare.
I put superus.
Est superum. Mare est neutrum.
Okay.
So it's mare superum. Mare superum. So the sea, which is above Italy. You guys, you know what? We may just not do these. Like this is just going to end up frustrating for everybody. Yeah, I don't love this. Actually, here's what I want you to do. We're going to work through as much as we can. Guys, skip. You know, I told you to do the other side of this paper.
Yeah.
Don't do it. But the other page I gave you, the exercise 4 and the exercise 6 with the ise id, and do that. Do that. Because that's doable. This is just nasty.
Tough. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I thought the words were like exact.
No.
Me too.
No, and I didn't even talk about that. You know what? We are not even going to go over the rest of exercise. Just forget it. Just let it go. Okay? Here's what we're going to do instead. Get out that sheet I gave you, the other one, and go to page 14. And we are going to do as many of exercise 6 together as we can. And we're going to get a rhythm for that. And first of all, I'm going to put all the is-id endings on the board. Okay? So here we go. Is-id. And I would like, your goal is to be able to do what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Eos, ae, eum, id, ao, ao. Okay. Ae, now this one has two forms. Ai, and they're both okay. Aorum, 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 eis, eis, eos, eas, ea, eis, eis. Okay, singular, plural. Masculine, feminine, neuter. Masculine, feminine, neuter. He, she, it, and they. That's what this is. Now, first of all, you don't really have as much to learn these as you think. Because if you look closely at a lot of them, you're going to see the same endings. So you're like I, arum, is, as, is. First declension endings. Look. Eam, ea, eis, eas, eis, earum, ai. Basically, it's a letter E with the ending on it.
Yeah.
Not for all of them. There's some different, but for a lot of them. If you've learned your noun endings, you've learned a lot of them. Okay, well, let's see how we might tackle this exercise. This is a much better use of our time. Okay? Medus servus est. Medus servus est. Bene? Dominus est Julius. Dominus est Julius. Medus servus est. Dominus est Julius. What do you think they might be fishing for? Think about it in English. Metis is a slave. Master is Julius. His master is Julius. What case is his? What does it show?
Isn't it possession?
It's possessive.
Eus.
Eius. Dominus eius est Julius. Bene? Okay, this is much better. This is much better. We like this one better.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
honestly, I probably, this is poor teaching on my part. We should be able to do that, but I'm using, so when I'm in these classes, that I take, like our ability to read and get the gist way outstrips our ability to come up with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so what we're going towards is that you could pick up Latin and read it someday, like a Roman author. And the writing of it is a harder skill. And I feel like these exercises are asking that of you. This, however, is good just ea id practice, I feel like, so it's not so bad. Okay, bene. Medus et Davus servisunt. Oh, Gabrielus, Dominus. Dominus eorum est Julius, bene. It's the same sentence, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
The first one's just singular, and the second one's plural. Servi Dominum sum vident et salutant. Said. Servi vident et salutant. Duo verba. Bene. Servi vident Dominum sum et salutant Dominum sum. Said, non volumus scribere Dominum sum bis. The slaves see their master and they greet him. What do you think? I'll let you work it out. And you can look up here on the board. This is why I wrote it up here, Gabriel. Because by process, by process of elimination, you should be able to. And if you can't, I'll work it through you. Do you want me to work it?
No.
Okay.
I just want to know which line is the direct object.
Oh, you mean of this chart?
Yeah.
Okay.
I always forget the.
Good question. Good question. We have nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, ablative. Direct objects are accusative. This is the line.
So he's the direct object, right?
He is the direct object. They greet him. Eum. Because it's singular. So if I just was clueless, but I had this in front of me, and I know that they see him, they see the master, and they greet him. Okay? Okay. Is him singular or plural? So so now I've eliminated all of those.
Yeah.
And then is it masculine, feminine, or neuter? Well, it's masculine. So now I've eliminated everything but this row. And then if I figure out it's the direct object, I've nailed it. Bene. Sira, this should look very familiar. Sira ancilla est, domina est Aemilia. Aemilia est domina.
I'm going to say Eus.
Eus, bene. Domina Eus. It est domina Sirae. Domina Eus est Aemilia. Bene. Oh, did we? Oh.
4. We skipped 4.
Oh, agnoscate mihi. Dominus servus suos videt et salutat. Eos. Hey, take a look at 3 and 4 before we move on to the one that I barreled through. Do you notice something? Look at 3. The slaves see their master, dominum suum, et salutant eum. The pronoun has the same ending as Dominum sum, eum.
Yeah.
They see master and greet him, and then look at the next one. Dominus sees the slaves, and he greets them eos. Seros, suos, eos.
I see it now.
This is the lovely thing about working on these. They reinforce the noun endings, and the noun endings reinforce these. So, because if you think about it, in each of those cases, the him or the them is standing for that. They see the master and greet him. Him and the master are the same thing. The master sees the slaves and greets them. It's standing in place. Okay, so we did Sira, Domina eius est Aemilia. Eius is the same no matter whether it's masculine, feminine, or neuter. It's the same, so nice. Sira et Delia, ancilai sunt, Domina Gabrielus.
It's Aorum.
Non est.
Oh, not Aorum.
Oh.
It's like.
Be-
It's A-E-R-O.
Yes,
Yeah, I
earum.
said it wrong.
Earum. Bene.
It's like
Quia feminae sunt.
Yes, I
Feminae
can
sunt.
see.
Bene. No, eam. Es bene. Es bonum responsum. Bene.
they're doing the same thing, but
They're doing the exact same thing again with
Yeah.
different genders.
And then they do it up.
And then they do it again. Okay, so we are on 7. Ancilai dominam suam vident et salutant eam. We don't even have to think very hard because we learned the trick. Her stands for dominam. And so it's going to have the same ending. Eam. Domina ancilas suas videt et salutant eas bene. We are doing all of your homework.
why not?
You know what? We're going to stop there.
Oh.
Okay, you got it. Okay, let's look at the thing on the other side. Let's look at the first couple of Exercitium 4 on page 17, just to make sure that it's not frustrating for you, okay? Because I think these are a little frustrating. If you want to answer the questions of, no, never mind. No, don't do that. Okay. Via Appia est inter Rome. No, we talked about this just a minute ago. So what ending goes on Rome?
Rome, the
Romam.
Is it just, hang on, I have a quick question. Can
Yes.
you use these endings again and again?
Yes.
All right, gotcha.
Et Brundisi bene. Because inter takes the accusative. And that's what this little chart is showing you in the margin. That all of those prepositions there, the thing that it goes with, the thing it's between, takes the accusative. Bene. Oh, inter sunt viae. Oh, est difficilius. It's a little more difficult. Inter opi sunt viae. Viae sunt inter. Quid significat in Anglicae? What do you think they're trying to tell us?
In between cities are streets.
Between the towns are roads. Roads are between the towns. So, what ending goes on towns?
What's the difference between the endings when you're accused? Oh wait, no, never mind. That's the question. No, accusative.
They are all accusative. They are all accusative. So we know that the roads are between the towns, and we know that between takes the accusative. So we only have 5 choices of the ending that goes on, right? It has to be os, or ah.
I say,
We want to take a vote?
os, by os, it's the OS, right?
Well, here's what we have to think.
Isn't it neuter?
It's neuter. Oppidum is neuter. So, but if we say oppidum, it says between the town. And that doesn't make any sense. You can't be between the town. It's between the towns. So how do we make a word like oppidum, plural.
Opida.
Oppida. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Inter oppida, between the towns, are roads. Circum est circum, like circumference, right? Circum multa oppidum sunt muri. Est murus. Hic est murus. Muri sunt circum multa oppid. Quid est finale? So, just to guide you a little bit, which group is circum in? Is it in the same group as inter or the other group? It's in the same, it's just like inter.
Yeah.
So if it was inter oppida, it's also circum. Circum oppida. And we know this because multa oppida, they need a match around many towns or walls. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
So I have multiple clues here that we could follow up on. First of all, if it was inter oppida, it has to be circum oppida. Because we know it's plural because of sunt. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are walls around, many towns. Many town doesn't make any sense, right? And we see that multa is the ending, A is the ending in multa, so it's going to be oppida. Okay, we'll do one more. Villa Julii est prope.
So the endings are going to match for OB, whatever it is in Tuscan.
Oppidum, tuscul, tusculum. Oppidum tusculum. Near the town Tusculum. Quia prope est cum accusativo casu. Bene, bene. So is that a little more doable?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I hate that other thing. That was awful. So yeah, so just let's revise. I want you to keep working on those noun endings. If you've nailed them, practice them again. Get them. Get them. Get the noun endings. Work on isea id till you can do what I did on the board here. Do the rest of these exercises that we just started. Nix on the video for the other, because it's just going to be, I'm sorry I gave you that. I'm sorry. I keep doing these and then hating it. And then a little time passes and I'm like, oh, we could do one of those. And then I remember why we didn't do those. Here's another thing you could do. Because we have plenty of time. You've got 2 weeks, and I want you to spend as much time in Latin as possible. And I think I mentioned doing this before. You could start at chapter 1. I do this with my Greek book sometimes. And at the end of every chapter, it says Grammatica Latina, right? So at the end of chapter 1, on page 10, it shows you singular and plural. I'm pretty sure we got the whole concept of singular and plural. And it gives you examples. And it gives you examples in the margin. And what I do is I just go over it. It's like, okay, I understand what they want me to learn here. I can read these. Great. Then I go to chapter 2. And I look at the end, Grammatica Latina. Oh, masculinum, femininum, neutrum. Got it. Pretty sure I understand what the masculine endings. And then it says, oh, genitivus. It's the genitive case. And then I might read some of their examples. And then I go to chapter 3. You see how I can go really fast through the first few?
Yeah.
But then when you get up to chapter 16, it might be a little slower. So you've got 14 days, if you think about it. So you could do, like you do the first 5 in one day, and probably the next 5 in one day. And then each day or every other day, you could spend some time reading through the Grammatica and thinking, oh, this is the thing we targeted in this, this lesson. Do I know those endings? Maybe if I don't know those endings, I should write them out. Maybe I should go back and find my handout for that chapter and reread the handout for that chapter that tells me all about the grammar of this chapter in English, right?
Yeah.
and use it as a review. And then if you just run out, I don't have anything else to do, I've read those Latin stories, just reread anything that we have read previously from either book, okay? And then when we come back together, Noah and Nathan will be back, and hopefully we can just go ahead and start the next chapter and move forward. Okay, bye then.